We're
Good.
We're rolling.
Okay.
I don't have an idea for an intro, but
That's okay.
usually this is what becomes the intro.
Usually is what becomes
Just
the
me
intro.
talking. Actually, we need to have Donny say the word that we say before we start, like we had Austin do that. We forgot to have Michael do that.
That's okay.
And Trevor do that.
That's okay.
But, so, what's your favorite name that starts with M?
Marvin.
Marvin?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty close.
Pretty close.
If you changed, if you took out some of those letters and changed
One to a
one to a different
letter, you'd have the name.
Mark.
Mark, eh?
Hey! Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Subject Matter. I'm your host, Stephen Jenkins, here with your co-host, Mr. Jonathan Dayton, and special guest, Mr. Donny Ness. We are experts in nothing, here to give you our thoughts and opinions on all of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the I think we can say for the first time, we've had a true fan of the podcast actually be a guest on the podcast, because our other friends who only saw maybe one episode before coming on don't really count.
That's fair.
Other friends, they may now count as fans if they went back and watched some episodes, but really you can't be a fan of the podcast if you're only 4 episodes in.
That's also
But
fair.
I think we'll go with that. So, Mr. Ness, we knew him as Mr. Ness.
We did know him as Mr.
I didn't
Ness.
really know him as Donny. Knew him as Mr. Ness.
Mr. Jenkins, Mr. Dayton.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, or just not Mr.
So how far apart? So most people understand the concept right now that we know each other from karate, given theme here.
Yep.
How far apart were you two from black belts?
Pretty far.
I mean, you tested...
I got it in 2014.
Wasn't that far then. I got mine in 2012.
So
you were
it's only
April
two- it's only 2 years
2014,
then.
weren't you?
May.
May? Okay.
Damn,
I was
how'd you know
close.
that?
I was
He knows all these. This is so weird. He knows when everyone tests
Listen,
their belt.
pre-2016, I'm really good at remembering just because I was at every single one of them, and I'm good at remember that type
Yeah,
of thing.
that's weird like
But
that.
after 2016, it was kind of
weird.
like when there was so many of them, I was like, oh, I can't make it to every single one, so I kind of started to drop off.
Do
But
you know what number black belt you were?
I don't. I think actually, I was 89.
I was 103.
Okay. See, I remember when they did, because I actually tested with the people who got their 100th, and then it was also it was 90th, 100th, and 101st, and they had to rock, paper, scissors
that
who had
was
it.
Chasing Cole, I think.
Yeah.
No, not Cole.
It was Colton.
Colton.
Yeah, they had rock, paper, scissors for it. And anyway, so I remember that. I was actually testing for my 2nd degree junior that night, but it didn't obviously make a difference to me because I was already a black belt. But so for tonight, we're going to do some hypothetical questions, some debate questions, dumb debate questions. Essentially, is what we're I think going for.
Okay.
Questions that have no real merit whatsoever, but just to flex our debating skills. And Jonathan and I do
Ready.
that just kind of quite often. So we'll let you. Do you have a question to start us off with?
Do you think Sunday is the last day of the week or the first day of the week?
Okay.
Oh,
Good
that's a good
one.
starter question.
Okay. Well, let's whoever asks the question can delegate who answers first. And you can choose yourself too. If you would like.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Do you want to answer first?
Doesn't make a difference to me. You choose.
You answer first.
The more we stall, the more time we give him to think, so let's not do that.
No, yeah, I said you answer.
All right, Jonathan,
first.
go first.
No, yeah, he told you. He told you.
Oh,
to
you
go
just told me to go first?
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that. Okay, so I was too busy thinking don't give him extra
Yeah,
time, but I'm
attention.
doing the exact same thing now. So I don't know because, it do we really know, that
Yeah.
at no point in human history did we, mess up? Now, I personally would say that I like to consider Sunday the last day of the week, but I grew up thinking it was the first day of the week, so I don't think mentally I'll ever be able to change that. But if you ask me what my position is, Sunday's the last day of the week. It actually makes me like Sunday more for some reason. I don't know why. I don't like the start of the week because it's always getting back
Yeah.
into the swing of things, and even though you have off work, it's still better if you just consider it another day off. But
I agree. I would also consider it the last day of the week. However, from a work standpoint, when I approve my time card, I approve it through Saturday, and Sunday starts the new pay period.
And on every calendar, Sunday is listed
Yes.
as the first day.
So,
But,
It's the weekend.
yeah.
yeah.
So I would consider it the end. If someone were going to ask me if it's the end, I would consider it the last Saturday and Sunday, the last 2 days of the week.
Okay. And you would agree with the same? All right, so we're all on the same page.
That's rare.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. I'll go next. Does pineapple belong on pizza? No.
No.
Absolutely.
Moving on to the next question, since his answer is invalid.
I am a
Let's-
pineapple lover on pizza. I love
We're
fruit
not.
to begin
We're not
with,
continuing
but
with this.
it's-
You have
it's
no
fantastic.
opinion.
It is wonderful on pizza, and we're gonna do a poll about this and see how many people agree with me because I'm right and they're both wrong.
You can like what you want, but also get out.
It belongs on pizza.
I can't even believe we had that. Go ahead. Next question.
Well, considering that I
even
just
look at you.
I got here late to the studio and then also have not thought of any hypothetical questions, I will defer to those two while I think of one.
While you think of another question.
Yeah.
Okay. Donnie?
I don't really have another one.
You don't have another question.
That was the only
Don't have
question
that
I
was
came
the
up
only question you had. All right.
Yeah.
All right. This is going to take a while because I have a big argument to make for this. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
I would consider it not, just because I don't think of a hot dog being a sandwich. But if you think of bread and something in between, then it would classify as a sandwich.
Okay.
I
Your
guess
position and
it's
your
the
argument.
Exact same thing, I guess I would say.
That's your argument? That
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say I guess it's a sandwich.
Okay. You guess it's okay. I respect the answer. My goal now is to convince you that it is not in fact a sandwich, but it is in fact a sub.
A sub.
So my definition of a sandwich is this is the important part, 2 pieces of bread with something in between.
Okay.
A sub is 1 piece of bread that connects and folds over whatever is in between. I define that as a sub. Because a hot dog is in between that folded bread, it is a sub. As soon as you, and this could apply for any, even like a Subway sandwich. A Subway sub. I said a Subway sandwich, so I might have just killed my own argument.
Ah.
A Subway sub,
Yeah.
right? As soon as you cut that middle crease, it then becomes an actual sandwich.
Sandwich, not a sub.
That's my position on it. A hot dog is not a sandwich. It is a sub. That's my official stance. Do I hear any rebuttals?
No, I would concur with that statement. If someone were going to ask me though, is it a sub or a sandwich? My mind would just think of a sandwich. I mean, although your argument is very valid, I also do agree with that. My mind just goes towards a sandwich over a sub.
Now, this is just an honest question. I don't have an opinion on this. What is the actual difference between like a sub and like a hoagie? Is there a specific difference?
There's a difference between a sub hoagie and a gyro. Like a gyro is different just because of what's on it and what it's made out of.
Okay.
But I don't know what a hoagie. I think of hoagies as being the one you saw at a fundraiser at school.
Right. Well, yeah. That's funny.
The ones that are pre-made wrapped, and when it comes to you, it's like all squished together, and it's got like tomatoes in a bag and like pickles in a bag and Italian dressings. That's what I think about.
I
hoagie.
don't know the last time I saw a gyro fundraiser, but you know.
Not a gyro from a hoagie fundraiser.
No, that's what I'm saying. I agree with you
Okay.
that you don't see them. I've never seen a gyro fundraiser.
That's awesome.
Okay, so you have no other hypotheticals to ask.
No, I really
No would you rather's, no other questions whatsoever.
I don't know. I can't think of them on the spot now.
Okay, all right. While you think, do you have any?
Okay, this is more like a would you rather situation.
Go ahead.
If there was life on Mars, like you could sustain life on Mars,
Okay.
but you don't know what's actually there. You just know that you could actually physically live there because there's
Okay.
oxygen and an atmosphere. Would you stay or would you go there to explore?
Stay.
Okay. Is there, like, did oxygen just suddenly appear there, or like has it always been there and I always could have gone? Because like
You always could have gone. But there's been oxygen there forever. There's been enough stuff there to sustain life. You
Okay.
just don't know what tangible things are there. You know there's an atmosphere with air and you could live there, but as far as what's actually developed there, you have no idea.
I probably would have gone if I could just to see. I mean, if I had the opportunity to go to outer space right now, I'd go to outer space.
Just
I mean,
to go
I
on
think
a
that'd be
trip or to
cool.
go and
No,
stay there?
we go and stay.
Oh, go and stay? No, I would stay. I couldn't.
All
I mean,
the cool stuff's on Earth. Like trees. You don't have
Could be
trees
cool stuff
on
there,
Earth.
too.
could be cool stuff there too, but I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay here.
I'd also stay here.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Elon, but not happening today. Okay. So, well, if you have another one, just jump in and let me know.
Okay.
I hate this question, but I have to ask it. Is cereal soup?
No,
Okay.
because it's not cooked.
So you're saying
I
soup
caught-
has to be cooked.
Yes.
Okay.
I consider soup as being cooked. Even like cold gazpacho or something of that nature, I would consider it to be cooked at some point.
Okay. The cereal itself most likely is cooked in some form. It is baked at some point. The
But not
milk might
altogether.
not be.
Every ingredient has to be at least heated up at some point.
Okay.
You plan on heating your milk up and with your
I don't. No, trust
with
me.
your cereal in it, then
I'm with you.
Then I am all for you to say that it's a soup.
My goal. What do you have an opinion on this? On the
It's
soup?
not a soup.
It's not a soup.
No.
Not a soup. I'm glad because when I heard the question, my mind said, "You have no argument." I didn't want it to be a soup, but I had no argument to suggest that it wasn't a soup. But I appreciate you giving me the argument.
What's your favorite company?
Favorite company, like
Yeah.
just
Just
favorite,
in general.
favorite
Oh
company.
wow!
I mean, I probably consume the most stuff probably from something like Disney, just from all the
Disney.
stuff that I watch, and it's where I'm gonna go on vacation. And if I'm gonna pay for something, it's often gonna have something to do with Disney. Maybe not completely. I mean, but you know, it's everything that I watch. It's even like the collectible bobbleheads that I get. You know, half of them are gonna be owned by Disney technically. But favorite company?
Costco.
Costco.
Not because of what they have, although what they have is fantastic. I would argue that their leadership and employee benefit structure and business model is far superior than any other business that I see.
So he's going straight to like the business aspect. Favorite company?
I'd say Pepsi just because of the stuff they sponsor. Or no, Red Bull because of the stuff they sponsor.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. They
Red Bull
sponsor BMX and, snowboarding and all that.
It's good.
So
That's good.
That's why
Fair.
I like them.
Cool. I like that. You
Not a
other-
sponsor, but could be.
Not a sponsor, but they could be. Any other questions that you have? Because I have multiple floating around in my
Well,
brain.
go ahead,
but,
shoot them out there.
I want to give you both chances to ask more questions. 'Cause
I can't think of one right now, but go ahead.
anything else? Okay.
Just go ahead.
Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
100 duck-sized horses
Yes.
or one horse-sized.
If they were the same size, I'd say a duck is more harmful than a horse.
Okay.
So I'd go with the 100 horses.
100
It's
horses. Okay.
ducks. Yeah.
I would probably have to agree.
Go with 100 horses.
I think it'd be easier to fight off 100 small animals than one very large
One very
Duck.
large animal.
duck.
And and that was going to be my argument too, because if you ever
They can fly.
they can fly. If you ever
It's a
come
big guy.
across a duck and it charges at you, you're gonna walk away from it, but
Yeah.
they're vicious.
Can I interject a story there?
Yes.
Okay, so 60-second story. So when I was younger, I went fishing quite frequently. I don't do it as often just because I don't have time to do it as often. And I was fishing and I caught a duck, a baby duck,
Okay.
on a hook.
Okay.
Reeling that in was quite a challenge in itself. But mommy duck didn't like that.
Oh no.
Mommy duck tried to drown baby duck. I guess trying to get it away, like why is it going this way, or I don't know. And ducks don't have hands; they can't take a hook out. So, needless to say, it was quite a skirmish because mommy's trying to drown baby duck. Baby duck's being reeled in by me. My pap's trying to go down and untangle this duck while the other duck's pecking at him. And it was a fiasco. Anyways, we cut the line. The duck ended up living and with a hook in his mouth. Of course, they rusted out at some point, but Very, very unique
Oh
story.
my god, it lived with the hook in its mouth?
Yeah.
So let's just say
Wow.
that duck grows up to be the size of a horse. You're saying
He had
you
a
would
massive
not
hook
want
in his
to
mouth,
with a
right?
massive
The hook-
the hook grows
the hook-
grew with
The hook will be gone. So if you don't know what fishing, and there's something like a fish swallows a hook and you're letting the fish go, you cut it so that the hook stays there because it's metal and it will rust itself out.
the duck just walks in with like a ship anchor,
Yeah.
and it's just
Still there.
You remember?
Well,
me.
what's funny was this is very truthful. I went back two consecutive years to that same fishing spot and saw that same duck with the hook in its mouth. The third year I went back, I fished almost every year, and I don't know if I didn't see the duck again or the hook eventually did leave. I have no idea. But for 2 years it stayed in its mouth.
Stayed in its mouth. That's interesting.
Yep, because it didn't leave the same little pond area that it lived in.
I was gonna say the same thing with the horses, that I would fight the 100 horses just because I feel like I could probably
kick
just
'em.
kick them. Exactly, just kick them. Whereas I feel like a duck, birds are just like gangly. Like I don't know how I would beat a duck.
I'm not a fan of birds.
Not a fan of birds.
If I was to be any animal, I'd want to be a bird. Like an eagle.
Because you can fly?
Because you can
Yeah.
fly.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I like
Above
that.
everything,
Absolutely.
and you dip down and
I
grab
would,
fish.
I mean, I don't. There's not really
Dip
anything
down
that
and grab
fly. I was
fish.
trying to think. There's not really anything that would fly, other than like a bat. But
Why a bat?
and I say I wouldn't want to be a bat.
I
That's
wouldn't
what I'm
wanna be
saying.
a
Like,
bat.
because I wouldn't want to be a bird, but I'd also want to fly. So I think I'd have to do that.
What would you want to be?
I don't know. I honestly
What would
don't
you
know.
want to be?
The common answer here would be like a tiger or something. I think that'd be cool. I think being like a monkey would be cool. Just how they can like climb in trees is like
Sure.
it's like this. I would fall on my face and they're just like spin around.
See, it's like my favorite animals are not the animals that I want to. Like one of my favorite animals is a penguin. I just think they're.
Yeah.
I just
That'd be
think
cool
they're
too.
funny.
That'd be
But
cool.
I wouldn't want to be a penguin.
Why not? It'd be cool.
I don't want to be a. I don't want to be a flight lizard. I want to be a. I don't want to be a bird and end up not.
They're so neat though.
I mean,
Yeah, you can see the Arctic Ocean
to
and
like.
stuff.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
just dive underneath the water, hold your
Polar
breath for like
bear.
an hour.
I'd be a polar bear. That's what I'd be.
Why a polar bear?
Polar bear. Colder climate.
Oh, you like cold
Just
stuff.
get away from everybody. Not have to deal with.
And then you get caught in a zoo.
And then I get caught in a zoo.
Okay, here's a hypothetical question. Since we're on Antarctica right now,
Okay.
would you rather live in a very, very cold climate like Antarctica for the rest of your life? Like you have to wear a jacket outside every single day. It's like -30. Or would you rather live somewhere in the tropics that's 120 degrees every single day?
One,
With
you'd have to
no-
wear a lot more than a jacket if it was -30,
Yes,
but I understand.
But no air, with no air conditioning.
Do you get like an igloo?
No, you have a house. Like you have a house,
And
but
yeah, it'd
out,
be cold.
you can
but
be-
outside is just snow and ice.
You can be warm if you're in your house.
If you're in your house.
I would choose. I'm gonna say now. Obviously, either of those places that you go after about a year of living there, you'll probably regret your decision.
Absolutely.
But I would go with Antarctica because you can always put on more layers. There's only so much you can get rid of.
That's fair.
When it's 120 degrees out, there's only so much you can do. And you said I didn't get an air conditioner.
No, you have a house when you have an air conditioner. You just get a fan.
Right? Yeah. Can't do it. Can't do it.
It's a tough
What
one.
about you? Same thing.
I'd go to the Arctic. Yeah.
Arctic. Yeah. I honestly, I'd love to go to Antarctica just in general, just to say I've been there. Like,
Have you ever
Podcast.
been
So
outside of the
cheap.
continent?
Hmm?
Have you ever been outside of this continent?
yeah, I mean, I've gone to Europe. I was technically
Really?
I went to London a couple years ago. I was in Israel then like a couple months after that, so I've technically been to Asia. But I guess that would be.
I've been to Asia before too.
Guess that'd be it.
Really?
He's been to the U.S. He started in Asia.
I've been to the U.S. Started in Asia, been to the U.S.
Wait, really? Where were you born?
South Korea.
What?
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
You did-
No, I didn't know that. You're just like so American.
Yeah. I mean, I've lived here for 23
Yeah.
and a half years. Only 4.
Well, that's cool. You can always say
months.
that you.
That
were
I didn't
born-
know. I
South
thought you
Korea.
meant 4 years.
No.
Okay. You said 4, and then you just changed it to months. I thought you were gonna say years.
No.
I didn't know that.
4 months I was there, so I didn't learn any of their culture at all.
Yeah.
But I lived there for 4 months.
Can you speak that language?
No.
Oh, that'd be really cool.
Going back when I'm 25 though, so in a year and a half, I'm going back.
Podcast documentary tour.
I've heard though, this is really off topic, but I've heard that it's a super nice country. Like
It
it's a
looks
place
like
that
it.
people really want to visit.
Just don't go north.
I'm not going nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. They're so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They share the name only, and that's
Yeah.
about
Share the name and then nothing else is the same.
That's about it.
Nothing else is the same.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like North America and South America. I mean,
Yeah.
those are pretty different continents in general, I think, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but they're quite large, though. I mean,
These
South
are
I'm not saying
America,
it's a one-to-one
South America's
ratio.
way down here, and we have North America way up here, and like Korea and Korea are like this tiny little pod. I mean, smacked together. Like
Yeah.
they share like 100 miles of.
Look, from the view of the
border.
people who actually went to Mars in our previous question,
Fair enough.
it's right to the. Okay, so next question. Is water wet? As I was talking to Donny beforehand, he has an opinion on this.
Yeah, water's
What-
wet.
Water is
Water's
wet.
wet.
100%.
100%. I agree too.
I agree, except a single water molecule is not. In my opinion, something is wet if it is saturated or touching
So a,
a liquid molecule. But a single liquid molecule is not touching another liquid molecule.
So a single H2O molecule
Is not wet.
not wet.
But as soon as you put
So
the second one on there,
what is H2O?
it is water.
And water is wet.
Water in a multiple molecular situation. In a multiple.
So if a singular H2O water molecule, if H2O is wet, then an H2O singular molecule also.
You're just
would be
getting
wet.
down to semantics. You're just getting down to the language of the way we say it. But
Wet. No.
to
wet.
specify,
Nope.
water is wet
Nope.
unless it's a single water molecule. That's how you specify.
No, it's wet. It's wet regardless.
Yeah, I'd
So
say
you're
it's
saying a
wet.
single water
wet.
molecule is wet.
Yeah, it's wet.
I don't agree with that.
It's wet.
What would you call it?
So what? Huh?
Well, dry.
Yeah, would it,
Every single molecule in existence is relatively dry on its own.
Except an H2O molecule.
As you would argue. We'll debate this on hopefully in the comments and see what people think of it.
Would you rather have all the money in the world and be unhappy, or be happy and be poor? And don't give me the argument that money buys happiness. That's not.
No,
that's
I
not.
wouldn't
That's
make-
not the argument at this current moment.
I wouldn't make that argument to begin with. Go ahead. You have a
just be happy.
Happy.
I mean, just happy.
Happy.
What would be the point? Like, you're gonna choose an option that would make you the most happy, and literally in one of the options is you're not happy.
But what is happiness?
Yeah.
Some people, it might be just collecting the most money possible.
But then it's a double negative. If the answer is you have all the money in the world but you're unhappy, that negates any happiness you would get from the money, right?
What
True.
is-
True.
In
True.
in the nature of the question, then
I also don't know if you could physically be unhappy 24/7, or maybe you are unhappy, but it's not like enough to affect you.
I mean you asked the question.
Like I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking about my own question. Like right now, not because of the podcast, I am unhappy, but it's not affecting what I'm doing.
You're unhappy.
I'm unhappy and discriminate.
Void of the podcast. You're
Yeah.
unhappy.
Yeah.
But it's not okay, so you're having a happy moment within an unhappy
Okay.
time span.
Oh,
Okay? Okay. You have a take on that?
No.
Next hypothetical, we just define words for the next however many minutes. Okay.
But what is happiness?
it's also true. You have to define what that means.
That's the very
'Cause
first thing you gotta figure out.
Some people would say that happiness could be money.
Is it just the appearance?
or having a house, or
looking happy? If you have money, then you look happy to other people, and maybe that's
I
happiness.
think happiness is a feeling and only you know if you have it or not. And sometimes you don't even know if you have it or not.
This is true. This is true.
Maybe it's made up.
Maybe it's made up.
I'm just kidding. Doesn't make any sense.
Sucks. Nothing's happy. We already discussed with Connor whether lava is water,
Yeah.
That's
which
ridiculous.
is stupid.
Maybe
Sorry,
something
Connor.
karate related.
Okay.
Something karate related.
Something karate related. Because that's how I
Ooh.
guess.
Okay.
So, this is a tough question, and I have my straight opinion for it. But people in school always said if you had your black belt, you were considered a deadly weapon,
Okay.
and if something were to happen, you could be charged. Now we all know legally that's not the case whatsoever.
Right.
But why would people think that, or what is an argument for that? Because just because you know martial arts does not mean a whole lot. I can go over here and pick up a baseball bat and whack someone over that. It has no karate experience whatsoever. And so you know where I'm going with this. I don't know how to necessarily...
What defines a lethal weapon?
I don't know how to ask it, but
You're saying what defines a lethal weapon? What
defines
defines a lethal weapon?
Yeah. I don't think it can be a person. I think if someone had a object, then they would be considered a deadly person with a deadly weapon. I just don't think you can consider, Steven, you are a deadly weapon in yourself with nothing else in your hands.
Darn right.
Mike Tyson is a deadly weapon.
Okay.
It's Mike Tyson.
So certain people can be. Certain people can be deadly.
But yeah, karate doesn't make you deadly.
Yeah. And that's what I heard quite frequently.
It's knowledge, really.
People kept saying, if you have your black belt, then you should be considered a deadly. But that doesn't make sense, because I know plenty of black belts that I would consider having more skill and maybe are on the spectrum of leaning towards deadly.
Okay.
Than other ones that I don't consider their knowledge of martial arts to make them deadly at all.
So what if it's abstract and it's your intention while using said martial arts? And I don't have an opinion on this on the either way, because realistically you have to account for the actual legal definition.
Yeah, and
you also have to
legally there's no argument there that people that have the opinion that, hey, you're a deadly weapon, the legality of that just rules out any sense of the term or any sense of the argument.
Okay.
But for people out there that still believe that, I don't know where the validity comes in with that.
It's like I don't know if anybody's seen the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, I did.
So there's that scene with Bruce Lee where he's going up against he's a fictional character in the movie, but he's going up against this guy Cliff. He's a stunt double, and he's like, my hands are registered weapons. If we get into a fight and I kill you, I go to prison. And Cliff is like, yeah, and if I get into a fight with you and I kill you, I go to prison. It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with what's a registered weapon.
Yes, nothing can be taken from you that is a lethal weapon.
Right, it disarm your arms. Like it doesn't. It doesn't happen. I mean, if we end up in 50 years all having bionic implants, then maybe you have an implant removed.
That's gonna happen.
It's gonna. I mean, it probably already.
It probably happens.
They
have chips in people's hands that unlock doors.
Yep, which is
it's coming.
Unnecessary in my opinion, but we'll go with it.
It's very unnecessary. It's coming.
That's for another episode when we're big enough and we get Elon Musk.
Metaverse.
In the metaverse, right?
Are you gonna hang out and do this podcast in the metaverse?
I don't have any plans to hang out in the metaverse because I don't think it.
This episode reminds me of the Snapchat story. What if?
Okay, I've never seen it before.
You should look it up.
You said you're gonna. What's your opinion on the metaverse?
I'm gonna stop in there, see what's up.
Yeah. Just hop in.
NFTs are on the rise. Maybe I could figure out how to do that.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's crazy that virtual things like that have
so much
currency and value now.
Okay, so this is the last thing we'll cover here, but this is something interesting. When you think about it, we're all saying, these cryptocurrencies only have value because we say they do. Technically, paper money only has value because we say it does. I mean, realistically speaking, it's a sort of just an imaginary deal we kind of have with society that my paper here is worth more than other paper.
Same thing with gold.
Here.
We're saying this rock that comes out of the ground has a lot of value.
And it obviously has to do with rarity.
It does.
But again, why are rare things more valuable? Yeah. All because
you can make anything valuable. You say all these speakers now are your currency.
The value of something is
relative.
Is relative to how much you want it.
Bingo. Mind blown.
Thank you guys for joining the podcast today. Let us know in the comments what you think for any of the other questions that we asked tonight, what your opinion is on everything, and tell us why pineapple does not belong on pizza. With that in mind, anything else to say, Jonathan? Our junior host, Addie, is reminding us of our new sign-off. Have you seen the new sign off by any chance?
What's...
It's not good.
It's not good at all.
It's not good. We all
not
stare
good.
at the camera and go.
It's not good. I don't even know why we continue to do it.
As a listener of the podcast from basically the beginning, do you have an idea for a proper sign off? Have you ever thought of it? This is the last hypothetical of the evening.
I don't know. Maybe you guys could just have a little catchphrase. Just a little wave with the catchphrase.
Catchphrase.
That was the matter of the subject.
Does anybody say it's the matter of the subject? Yeah. Let's try it. It's the matter. We're going like this, I guess.
That was the matter of the subject.
All right. Am I doing it or you? Is that? I think that was it. That was it.
That was
All
right there.